Politicians bought and paid for? Just kidding. Or am I? Have you ever wondered how politicians, those lovely folks who promise us the world every few years, actually afford those fancy suits and even fancier campaigns? I mean, have you seen the price of a billboard these days? It's enough to make you run for office just to get your name up there for cheap. But seriously folks, the influence of money in politics is no laughing matter. It's more like a really depressing, soul-crushing horror movie where the monster is your bank account and the only way to defeat it is to, well, we'll get to that later. The truth is, getting elected costs an absurd amount of money. And guess who has a lot of money? That's right, rich people and big businesses. Coincidence? I think not. So, buckle up, Buttercup, because we're about to dive headfirst into the murky, money-filled swamp of political financing. And trust me, it's gonna be a wild ride. Now, you might be thinking, John, isn't it illegal to just buy a politician? And to that I say technically yes, but also, kind of no. You see, there are these perfectly legal loopholes called campaign contributions and lobbying that basically let the wealthy whisper, or let's be honest, shout, their wishes into the ears of those in power. Rich individuals and corporations can donate massive sums to political campaigns, often through opaque organizations with misleadingly friendly names like Citizens for a Better Tomorrow. Spoiler alert, that better tomorrow usually involves lower taxes for them and, well, fewer regulations. And then, there's lobbying, which is basically just a fancy word for paying someone to convince politicians to do what you want. It's like having a friend in high places, except that friend only likes you for your money. So why are the super rich so eager to throw their money at politicians? Well, besides the obvious ego boost of having a senator on speed dial, there's the little matter of taxes. Or, more accurately, the lack thereof. See, when you're rolling in more dough than you could ever spend, paying taxes seems like, well, a poor person's problem. So, the wealthy have gotten really creative with hiding their money in offshore tax havens, those sunny little islands where financial regulations go to die, and guess who writes the laws that allow these tax havens to exist? Yep, you guessed it. The very same politicians who benefit from their generous donations. It's a beautiful, symbiotic relationship, for them, that is. Not so much for, the rest of us. This constant flow of cash from the wealthy to the powerful has some pretty nasty side effects. For starters, it undermines the whole government by the people, for the people thing. When politicians are beholden to their wealthy donors, they're more likely to prioritize those donors' interests over the needs of, well, everyone else. This leads to policies that benefit the few at the expense of the many, like tax cuts for the rich, while social programs for the less fortunate get slashed. It's like playing a rigged game of Monopoly, where one player starts with all the properties, and the rest of us are just stuck trying not to go bankrupt. Section 5. Around the world in tax evasion, it's a global party for the rich. Unless you think this is just an American problem, think again. From the shady dealings of Russian oligarchs to the tax-dodging antics of multinational corporations, the influence of money on politics is a global pandemic. In some countries, politicians are practically for sale to the highest bidder. In others, the lines between government and big business are so blurred it's hard to tell where one ends and the other begins. It's enough to make you want to become a hermit and live off the grid. But then, who would pay for your internet connection? See, it's a vicious cycle. The point is, this isn't just about one country or one political party. It's about a system that's rigged in favor of the wealthy and powerful, no matter where they are in the world. Section 6. Don't get mad, get even. Well, not even. Now I know what you're thinking, John, this is also depressing. What can we even do about it? And you're right, it is pretty bleak. But before you go full doomsday prepper, there are things we can do, even if they feel small. First off, we need to talk about this stuff, a lot. The more people are aware of how the system is rigged, the more likely we are to demand change. Share this video, talk to your friends, write angry letters to your elected officials, though honestly they probably won't read them unless you attach a sizable campaign donation. We also need to support organizations that are fighting for campaign finance reform and holding politicians accountable. There are a lot of smart, dedicated people out there working to level the playing field, and they need our help. Section 7. Laughing through the tears. Because sometimes you just gotta laugh. Look, I know this is heavy stuff, but if we can't find a little humor in the absurdity of it all, we're all doomed. So let's take a moment to appreciate the sheer audacity of billionaires complaining about paying taxes while they're launching themselves into space for fun. Or how about the fact that some politicians seem more interested in tweeting than actually governing? It's enough to make you laugh, cry, and then immediately check your own bank account to see if you can afford to run for office and fix this mess yourself. The point is, laughter can be a powerful tool. It helps us cope with the absurdity of it all, and it reminds us that we're not alone in this. Plus, it's way more fun than just sitting around feeling helpless and outraged all the time. Section 8. Join the rebellion, but like the peaceful online kind. If you're tired of the status quo, if you're ready for a system that works for everyone, not just the wealthy few, then join the Rebellion Report. We're a community of people who are fed up with the way things are and are committed to fighting for a fairer, more just world. We're not affiliated with any political party or organization, and we're not here to tell you what to think. We just want to provide you with the information and resources you need to make informed decisions and hold those in power accountable. You can find us on all the usual platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and even that new one all the kids are using these days. What's it called again? TikTok? Sure, let's go with that. Section 9. Like, share, subscribe, and let's stick it to the man. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and spread the word. Together, we can make a difference. Or at the very least, we can make fun of the people in charge while they continue to ignore us. And hey, if all else fails, there's always the option of storming the nearest tax haven. Just kidding, mostly. Stay informed, stay engaged, and most importantly, stay rebellious.